We're live, John. All right. So, good afternoon, everybody. Bob Zagami here with NERVDA, and I am with Don Clark. And we have some technical difficulties on our end, so I apologize if we have that happen to us during the show. Hey, we go. We got Don Clark. Now, would you believe, after all we've gone through for the last 15 minutes, we're actually live. So we are live and on broadcast. We'll have to wait for John to maybe join in there. But Don, thank you very much for joining us. I'm glad we were able to come out here and see you while I was doing my official RVIA business. I had several meetings down at Elkhart this afternoon.
Well, welcome to our town.
Yeah.
And welcome everybody to Elkhart County, Indiana, the capital of recreational vehicles. And I'm thrilled to be on your show and with everybody today.
Yo, you guys just took over this whole campground. I mean, this is incredible. I saw like 20 different rows of Grand Design RVs.
You know, I've never felt so safe in all my life. I mean, we have 800 Grand Design enthusiasts in the campground, approaching 400 units, and these people know how to have fun.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
So you're here for 3 days, right?
Correct. The farewell dinner and celebration is Friday.
Well, I'm going home tomorrow, Don.
All right, so your celebration is tomorrow, but you're going to miss a lot of fun.
I'll be in Maine for the weekend, so I'm going to head up to Maine.
That's God's country too. So, yeah.
So for folks that don't know actually we're at the what you call the Indiana Rally, right?
It's the national rally.
It is the national rally. Okay, so
yes.
So I saw Indiana, and he said, "Well, is it Indiana or is it national?" This is national rally.
Yes, it is.
Wow, God. So why don't you tell folks a little bit about how you started this crazy company and this idea that you and Ron and Bill had, and back in 2011, and all of a sudden, here you are today, the top of the pile for RV manufacturers, one of the fastest growing ones in the country. You're just on such a roll. Tell us a little bit about it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Bob and John, it's been exciting, and you've kind of been there with us from the get-go. And watch the growth. Ron and Bill, my two partners, the three founders, Ron, Bill, and myself of Grand Design, it really started with a thought and an idea that we're all entrepreneurs at heart, and there was another way. We just knew there was another way of doing business, something different. All the other manufacturers were going right, and we were thinking left was a pretty good direction. And there was just another way of doing business, and a way we wanted to start. And as time goes on, tick, 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 tick. I didn't want to look back, and I can speak for myself, and not necessarily Ron and Bill, but I didn't want to look back, in my retirement years and have that regret. I wish I could have, would have. Mm-hmm. And we're like-minded, so many things. We're very, very good friends, dear friends outside of work, and obviously Ron and Bill are brothers. We're all thinking that same thing at the same time, and we thought, you know what, let's do this. No regrets. Let's do this. And we took a year off. We spoke to, a lot of the industry's best dealers, which over the years, we've been doing this. I've been doing this 35 years.
Right? Yeah. I've been doing it 40. So you're just a kid.
So I'm a kid. I'm a kid. But we talked to them, and we just asked a simple question. What would it look like? Clean sheet of paper. What would it look like? Describe your perfect manufacturer partner in business, and it really was easy, Bob. They wanted someone they can trust, someone that was really partnered. Partner is overused in our industry, but a true partner to their business, someone that would have an exclusive relationship with them in their market instead of having 5 or 6 different dealers competing. No clones. Let's put all of our engineering efforts into a single brand in that segment. Grand Design only has 5 brands, and yet we're the 3rd largest producer of travel trailers and fifth wheels in the industry. And our goal was not to be the biggest, but to be the best we possibly could be, and to help move the needle in our industry in a positive way. An industry that has been so good to the three of us, and one that we have just as much passion today as I did 30 years ago.
Well, that's true. And I remember the first meeting in Louisville, John and I were there. And John, I see you're on making notes. So if you can dial in, oh, you're in the lobby? Hang on a second. Let me see if John's here.
John, come on in.
John, you're not showing up in the lobby, John. So do me a favor and just kill your whole connection on that side and come back in on the link while you do that. Okay, we got Alan Warren from the RV Show USA Today on. Walter Swenson. Oh, Walter, you're going to be in Saco this weekend. Let's get together for a cup of coffee. I'll be in Old Orchard Beach. And we got two gals and a dog. They work a lot with Rolling on TV.
Okay.
And have you guys done a segment with Rolling on TV yet?
We have.
You're early on, right?
Yeah. Early on.
Yeah. Hello, Michelle and Laurie. I think you're there, and Don. Okay, so let's go back to Louisville. You announced to the dealers prior to Louisville you're going to start this new company, and you rent a hotel room. And all you get's a sign. That's all it says, Grand Design. And you think there's going to be maybe 10, 20, 30, 40 guys come because you know everybody. And I think you wound up with about, I'm going to say, over several hundred.
Well,
we ran out of food. You realize I ran out of Danish.
Yeah.
I think I ran out of coffee, and you got all these people sitting in a room saying, if these guys are going to be in business, I think I want to be in business with them. So you have the pick of the litter.
You know, it was humbling. It was our very first Louisville show. Ron, Bill, and I had suits on. Suits and ties that we wear 3 times a year. We had our briefcases, nothing in the briefcases because we hadn't really started yet, and we had this small 8x8 curtain booth. We didn't even pop for the full height curtains; they were the low curtain, and above our name was the men's sign to the men's bathroom. I mean, we laugh about it today, and someone talked us into having a breakfast meeting, and I thought, no, you know. We've been out a year, you know, who's going to come off site away from the show to this meeting room? We haven't built any products.
Right.
We haven't really got the company, you know, off the ground. Who's going to come listen? And I was nervous about it. And I remember there were 200 chairs set up, and I'm thinking, oh, that's too many chairs. We want this thing
terrible,
to look packed. And 8 o'clock came, and not a lot of dealers. I was getting pretty nervous, and all of a sudden the foreman at the hotel spoke into his radio, and all of a sudden 3 more guys showed up. They started breaking down the portable wall between us and another meeting room. I went up and I said, hey, what are you doing? He goes, don't worry, Mr. Clark, we're not going to charge you for this other room. And I said, you don't understand. We want it to look packed. He goes, I don't think you have anything to worry about. We looked outside, and I still get emotional about it today. There were just droves of dealers lined up to come in, old friends, new friends, you know, people we've done business with before, just to listen to what we thought we were going to build as a company. And there were over 400 people at that breakfast meeting.
And it wasn't the same old, it wasn't, as you said earlier, it wasn't just another RV company. It wasn't, we're going to do the same thing we've done before, the same way we did before. So guess what? We're going to break the mold. We're going to do it completely different. And if you buy into it, then you got to buy into the Grand Design story, the whole story,
right? The
whole product line. And I thought one of the things that you did right out the gate that was early, that if they became, and I know it's still true, if they became a Grand Design dealer, you're in for a long haul.
Yep.
We may only have one product today. But guess what, guys? When number 2 and number 3 and number 4 come along, and now you got 5 brands and how many different products?
Yeah, just 5 brands, and we're very narrow width. But we wanted to major in the majors, and we wanted to deal where, you know, that half of 1%, $150,000 fifth wheel, we'll let somebody else have that. We wanted to major where most of the dealers were selling their product. And you're right, we wanted to truly partner with one dealer, just one dealer in each market, and have that relationship be very trusting and very deep. And it's worked.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And the product, go over the product segments, you know, that you've got. I know I've got a couple of pictures in here for it. And John, you're still not showing up in the lobby. Okay.
Yeah, I'll share why John's finding our lobby.
Yeah. You want to go with the reflections?
We started
first with the solitude.
With the solitude. Right. And here's why we did that. You only have one opportunity to make a first impression into the market, right? So and why we picked solitude is it was a higher end luxury extended stay fifth wheel that spoke to our customers on what our product was all about. We're not the least expensive in any of the categories we're in, but we're so value driven and value oriented. And in fact, the first 256 units that we built, it was one floor plan, no options. It was like Ford. You can have any color you want as long as it's black.
Black and black, yeah.
And the turns, the velocity in the turns and the response and the emotional attachment that customers had to our product was overwhelming, and we couldn't build them fast enough. But here's what we did different. Most companies, when they start, they'll hire this high flyer sales guy, high powered sales guy that goes out and they get a whole bunch of orders, and then they build them, and then we ship them, and then at some point in time somebody has a problem. They have a problem. Whoa, we don't have a service department, and all of a sudden you're playing catch up. We didn't do that with Grand Design. Before our production started coming off the line, we brought on, I think, the industry, certainly one of the industry's top service executives, and that's Jerry McCarthy.
Yep.
Jerry was our VP of Service Operations. Before we got running, Jerry was tasked with having a service facility, putting our flat rate manuals, our warranty policies and procedures, everything in place. So we had a service team and parts team ready to go before one call was made. So I think that's the way you build a company, and you show that we're in it for the long haul, and we're here to service our dealers and our customers.
Well, look at, Walter has a good question here. Walter says, I'll bring it up on the screen here. Given where quality is in the industry, what is Grand Design doing to drive quality in their products prior to shipping products, and how is it different from the other brands? And I know from having been with you from day one and watched the company grow, the hallmark of Grand Design, and I don't want to steal your thunder, but it's customer service. I mean, when people look at Grand Design, so you tell the story about
Walter,
how that fits in.
Walter, great question. And we do things different than any other manufacturer in the industry. And we started this way, I will tell you, out of paranoia. Here, Ron, Bill, and I have been friends with all of these very successful dealers, great people. We're friends outside of just business associates. We didn't want to let anyone down. They were picking up the brand and the product because of us, because we hadn't built anything yet. So our reputation was on the line. So what we started doing, Walter, was every single unit that went down our line went through quality gates, similar to other manufacturers. At the end of the production line, they did a pre-delivery inspection where they fired up the appliances and the mechanics and the electronics and did leak tests and make sure that things were buttoned up before it shipped. And that's not totally unlike some of the other really good manufacturers in our industry. But here's the difference between Grand Design and everybody else. At that point in time offline, other manufacturers ship their products directly to the dealer. The dealer puts it on their lot and you have what you have. We don't. Instead of shipping it to a dealer, then we ship it to a pre-delivery inspection department. That department does not report our plants directly to our vice president of service operations. And then it undergoes a 280-point inspection. Anything caught, things are caught in that area, are repaired by either the plant or our pre-delivery inspection teams, and then only is it shipped to the dealer. That process costs millions of dollars, but today, fast forward six years later, and again, we have volume, we still do that process on 100% of everything we build.
And it's amazing, but that also, for the customer operation, for the dealer operation, because we know too many times the dealer becomes the final QC point, and we can't have that. And then the customer gets delayed and the customer gets upset. And you know, we're selling 500,000 RVs a year. The industry's growing like crazy. We've got to get more techs. We got to get more campgrounds, but we got to get some better products out there. Yeah. And you're leading the way, because I'm sure some of these people are sitting around the conference table saying, "Can't we do it like Don does it?"
Well, it's still it's more than Don. It's we have incredible people that have passion for not only the product but also our customers. And I see other manufacturers starting to do a little bit of that, and maybe not 100%, but 10% of their product or 20% of their product. So I think it's coming. And one of the things we wanted to do was we wanted to create a special company, a special kind of company for our retail customers, for our dealers, but also for our suppliers, and mostly for each other. You know, our grand design team. Everybody gets a say in the direction of our company, and it's working. We're starting to make a positive example, I guess, in the industry.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about the products themselves. What do you have a favorite one? I mean, you've watched them all grow and come up, and you're hitting great market segments. You got the half tons, you got the lightweights, you got the Transcend that just came out last year, you got the Momentum, you got super luxury toy haulers. It's kind of like asking you which child do you like.
No, that's exactly. That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. My dad was 60. I'm number 8 of a family of 9, and my dad was born in 1900, June 1st, 1900, and my mom a little bit younger than he, and they had 9 kids. And it wasn't until both parents passed away where we started comparing notes, the kids.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Mom told me that I was her favorite. Wait a minute. Mom told me I was the favorite. And so I get to be my mom here just for this question. They're all my favorites. You know, it depends which product manager I'm talking to. That is my favorite.
Who's in the office that day?
Yeah, Grand Design brand. I love them all. And what I like about them is there's no gray lines in between them. Like Solitude will always have a special place in my heart, because that's what the company was founded on. And it's a beautiful product, but I believe we give the most value for the dollar in the luxury extended stay fifth wheel, I guess, affordable extended stay fifth wheel with Solitude. But we're vying for the #1 position with toy hauler fifth wheels with Momentum. I mean, it's just a beautiful product. And then Reflection is what, the #2 selling fifth wheel in all the industry right now.
Getting close to #1.
Yeah, it is, but we're keeping that a secret. So I like them all. I really do, because each one has a place in a separate segment for a different buyer.
Okay. All right, what do we got here? You got Sean says hello from Massachusetts.
Hi, Sean.
We got Mark Polk. You know Mark and Don Polk at RV Education 101?
Yeah, hi, Mark. Right. How are you?
Oh, Don's on too. Okay. And let's see, who else? Walter, we got that. Do they do a leak detection test? Not a rain test, but a leak test.
Yes, we do.
Talking about Seal Tech and stuff like that.
Yes, 100% of everything we build, we do that.
That's fantastic. And Mike Perry's on. Mike is with Dealer Resources. He covers the Northeast for Dealer Resources Group, and they do a lot of product training. And he was an old Teton rep before they sold out. They didn't sell out. They went out of business, I think. And Michelle has posted a link to the Rolling on TV segment. John, and I apologize to our fans. The reason you don't see John tonight, he's around. He's at his house. He's in front of his computer, but we're having technical difficulties because his computer is telling him he is in the lobby, and we do not have him in our lobby here. So I can't troubleshoot at this point in time. So John, we miss you, and if you can figure out maybe doing a couple of reboots or something, we can do that. Don Fans Club just came in. Now, are these employees or are these customers?
They're both. They're both.
They're both. See that? See how much they love him over here? Huh?
They're having fun.
Well, you know, that's one of the things that's been a hallmark. I know you wanted that right out the gate, that you're going to have fun doing it. You're going to do it right, but you're going to have fun doing it. Every time I visit the facilities and the manufacturing plants or come down to your office for a cup of coffee, Everybody's smiling, everybody's happy, everybody treats each other with respect.
Why not? You know, why not? You spend almost as much time in the office as you do with your spouse at home and kids. And who said a job has to be a terrible, terrible thing? You know, it's spelled J-O-B, but our people have fun. Our people work hard, they care, they're conscientious, but they like to have fun and enjoy one another. And it's a true team. So we don't have employees, we have team members.
Yep. And that's a good point, because I don't think I've ever worked a day in my life. And you know, if you got to get out of bed in the morning, you really ought to do something that you like. I don't know why these people do it the other way. Do it the other way around. So what's next on the horizon for Grand Design? You know, we've got the other open house coming up. You got some stuff here. What do you think? Can you just give us a little hint? Sure.
I'll let you peek under the covers a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
We're introducing some really killer floor plans in all of our lines. We have new floor plans out, and we do that on purpose. We time it for the open house just to create a lot of excitement. And they're not copycat floor plans. You know, they're original, innovative some things that the industry hasn't seen yet. And then we're introducing a brand new line. That I'm excited about. It's a segment that our dealers have asked us to jump into, and we're jumping in with both feet. And I'll tell you want me to tell you what it is?
Yeah, of course I do. Tell them to.
Here's what it is. It is a toy hauler travel trailer. Prior to this unveiling, we've only been in toy hauler fifth wheels with just an incredible product called the Momentum. Well, we're introducing the Momentum G-Class, and it's going to be offered in a fifth wheel, but also a travel trailer. So customers that love the product, love the brand, dealers that love the product but have a need for a really solid, well-built, great featured toy hauler trailer, they now have it with Momentum.
Oh, I think that'll be a killer product. I think this, that's a market that's underserved, but does in fact need a really great product sitting at the top. Yeah. So that could be a real home run.
Yeah.
Because you've already got 5 home runs. So you just,
the pressure. There's pressure. We have to bat 1,000.
You're almost playing as good as the Red Sox.
Well, no one is consistent as the Red Sox.
And that's a great word. Yes. It's consistent. That's right. So in the rally itself, when people come together like this, what kinds of things do you have for them while they're here? There's a lot of socializing. I saw a couple of charter buses when I was down earlier checking on connections and stuff. What do they like to do when they're at the rally?
Well, interesting question. This is not this Grand Design does not sponsor this. We didn't create this owners club.
Oh,
they created it themselves. Grand Design owners just got together and created the Grand Design Owners Club.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and so they could go anywhere in North America, anywhere. They choose Middlebury, Indiana, Elkhart County, and they choose that. It's a beautiful area. I love it. Yeah. But they choose it because they want connectivity with Grand Design Manufacturing Company. They like to socialize with our people. They like a big part of the rally is tours. We give tours on all of our facilities, and we love it. Our people love it because oftentimes the companies, the people in the plants or purchasing agents or bill of material people, they don't get to interface with our customers. So we bring the customers, we invite them on the complex. We had red carpet rolled out for them, and they went through a tunnel of applauding Grand Design employees.
That's
and
great, yeah.
And they're filming, the excitement and we'll have a lot of fun. So they want that connectivity with the manufacturer. But guess what? When we started the business, that was one of the things we missed, was that close connectivity, not just with dealers, but also dealers, but with the retail consumers. And so they come here, we have fun with them. We sit around campfires during the evenings and tell stories, and we have one-on-one conversations. Then we also invite questions.
Well, that's where you're going after you leave me tonight. You're going back and doing your campfire stories.
Yeah.
So John says it must look like a factory. Well, there may be more units here than he has at his factory right now.
We do. I promise.
Yep. Okay, Walter. Oh, that's Sacco. We already know about that one. Who else we got on here? Steve Giano says hello. Laura Vale from Connecticut.
Hi, Laura. Hi, Steve.
Oh, this is Walter tests us every week, so we don't. Walter's the incoming state director in Massachusetts for Good Sam.
Okay.
And he'll take over next January. But he's in training with Rhonda and Joe Cabosa. So they try to keep him a little bit under wraps, but he loves to ask these questions. So here's Walter's question for the night, because people look for Walter's questions. See, if we did a show and Walter wasn't on there with a question, I'd feel really bad. So I think he may still be on vacation. Do your design engineers camp in your products?
Yeah. Not everyone. I can't, ask a question to get an answer. Not every single one, but many of our engineers not only camp, some of our engineers actually have one.
They actually buy them.
Yeah.
Buy them and have them for the family.
In fact, Emily Staley, she just happened to be across from me right now.
Emily's doing work. She's taking stuff out of the unit.
She is awesome. Well, Emily, we just brought Emily on board to work with social media and talk with customers, and she's a rock star. And she came from one of our large suppliers and did that for them as well. Emily happens to not only be a valued team member of Grand Design, but she's also part of the Owners Club. She has that's her Imagine XLS right across.
Oh, the one that she's taking all the stuff out of.
Yeah,
okay.
That's her rig. She bought that.
Emily, you want to come say hello to everybody? Just come swing right behind Don and I. We're talking about you, so if you come right between us, look down. So Emily, just wait. That's all the people.
Hello.
It's RVing in New England, but it goes all over the world. We actually have people in Saudi Arabia and Italy.
Wow.
So you're famous now. You've just gone all over the world.
Well, awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. Good luck.
If you're a Grand Design owner and you jump on a blog, you'll more than likely be talking to Emily. So now you can put a name with a face.
Matt, come on over and come in. Matt's the new marketing director. What did you say you've been on 3.5 days or 3.5 weeks?
Weeks.
3.5 weeks. And are you catching up on all this excitement? This is crazy. I mean, these people are running back and forth in all different directions, and we're looking forward to working with Matt. Thanks for coming over, Matt.
Thanks.
Don says you're all having a good time. I love it. That's the only way we do it. When we get together with these guys, it's always a good time. Jeff, Don looks great, even better in person. Is it your brother-in-law or what?
Well, it's a guy that wants promoted, obviously. Jeff is now our new vice president of something. I don't know, but that's great.
My first remote host. Well, actually, it is my first remote host. So again, the reason you don't see John on here tonight, I'm going to check one more time because he may be hiding out in the lobby, but he's not. That's not working. But yeah, this is my first remote broadcast. John did one with Mike Happy last month when Winnebago had the Grand National Rally, and you're a completely separate. You're owned by Winnebago, but you're a completely. Explain how that works, because Mike was very clear. We have Winnebago, we have Chris Craft, and we have Grand Design.
Yeah, brands. Yeah. And Mike's been very successful and very supportive of Grand Design's growth. Very smart individual.
Yeah, enjoy working with him.
He's a good guy, and he's building a great company in Winnebago Industries. And a few years ago, we came together, and it's been an incredible relationship. And not only has there been mutual respect, but trust formed, and then also there's been a lot of collaborative work when it comes to synergies and not just price savings because of bigger purchasing power, but synergies and best practices. And there's just a lot of smart people within the Winnebago organization that have been industry giants in their own discipline. And he's been able to, it's like the Chicago Bulls, Phil Jackson.
Is that
Phil
Is that a
Jackson.
basketball team?
Yeah, it is.
No.
That's a basketball.
They play the Celtics. We're coming on strong. You know, we got a lot better the last couple of years ago.
Celtics could hang with the Bulls, but Phil just assembled all of these rock stars in their own field and formed a team, and that's kind of what's happening there. I'm excited to be. I'm humble.
Yeah,
to be a part of that.
Great. Hey, John, I forgot to tell you that Matt used to work at Notre Dame, and he knows Brian Kelly. Just thought I'd throw that out there. And Don, I saw your note. John, he says he's in the lobby, but the way the technology is tonight, we're not picking him up in the lobby. We had a lot of problems on connectivity early in the show, so we didn't get a chance to throw up a lot of our graphics and stuff that we had that.
But John, I know you're listening.
He is. He'd be disappointed if you didn't say hello to him.
Yes.
You know? Actually, he looks a lot better this week.
You know, I was going to say that, but I thought he might be mad.
No.
But you're his partner, so good.
I can say and get away. Talk about the demographics of the Grand Design owners, and I'm sure it's a canned answer. They're all over the place. But what are you seeing in terms of demographics and the new buyers, first-time buyers? Give us your impression.
Yeah, you know what? It surprised me during our opening, and like I said, we have 800 plus people here. During our opening welcome speech, I always like to have fun. Yep. You know, it's just life's too short, right? So we have fun with our group and our owners group, and they have fun with us. But the one thing I want to understand is who our buyer is and who the audience is, even at the rally. So a question I asked was, all right, who are Transcend owners here? And Transcend is our brand new product, so I didn't expect many. It's our entry-level product, if you can call it that. It's gorgeous. And then how many of you, and I had them stand, are Imagine owners? And there were quite a few Imagine owners. How many of you are Momentum? It surprised me really how many Momentum owners there were here. And then Solitude and Reflection always rock because school's back in. So a lot of the younger parents that own Grand Design units that use them on the weekends and their kids are back in school, so they're not traveling around the world, and it's difficult for them to come to our national rally. A big percent of the people here have Solitudes and Reflections, and it's growing in Imagines. So I would say this group are more of the seasoned buyers and the seasoned RV owners. But I will tell you, I was blown away at how many people here, it was their first rally. And I'm blown away at how many of our owners are first-timers to the RV industry, but yet they stepped up to buy a Grand Design unit because there's a lot less expensive product out in the marketplace.
Sure. But that's the reputation that you built, and that's what you wanted to build. And those numbers are pretty consistent. When I do my seminars at the Boston show, and it seems like I almost mention this every week we do the show, but I find that my seminar is geared towards first-timers or newbies, and 90% of the people that go to my seminar do not own an RV. And what I found really striking the last 3 years, and it actually was John that prompted me to ask the question one year. He said, ask them how many are coming to their first RV show. And why that was interesting was we all had this impression over the years that it was always the same people that came to the RV shows. You see them in Boston, you see them in Providence, even on the national scale. But all of a sudden, 50% of the people in the audience had never been to an RV show before. So everything that we're doing with respect to Go RVing, building the brands, building the industry, building the lifestyle out for these people to really enjoy it is working. And now you've just confirmed it, and it's reflected in your reflection of the audience.
And that's what
get that reflect in the reflection
of the
audience.
I imagine you're correct. You are correct.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I could go on and on about sitting in solitude with a tremendous amount of momentum, but I won't. But here's what is another thing that's so exciting about our industry. You are 100% right, Bob. There is this emergence of new buyers that have discovered the RV outdoor lifestyle, that have found it to be exciting, found it to be a new and exciting way to see the countryside and all of North America. But it's the age group of these new buyers that is thrilling. It's the younger people have discovered RVing at some point in time has become cool.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
And it has an appeal. I spoke with an RV owners, young couple. They're both 30 years old. Just tonight, they own a Solitude, and it was their first time purchase.
First RV. First RV.
Yeah.
Solitude. Yep.
And they sold their home. They liquidated what they wanted because they didn't really want to have roots. Don't have kids yet, so they want to see the country. They want to have these experiences, and they stepped up to a Solitude, and they're traveling abroad. I love hearing those stories because it's an emergence of new buyers, but we still retained the existing customer base that we had. It's exciting times to be in our business.
It is, and I talk about that in my seminar also. The days of somebody buying a pop-up, then having kids, and they buy a travel trailer, and then they maybe have a few more kids, they buy a fifth wheel, and then they retire and buy a motor. Those are gone. People come into this industry today in every different walk of life, every different occupation, every different age group. There are people, like say, the young families. I love it when we go to the shows now and they're pushing the baby carriages around, and it's important as buying a house.
That's one of the reasons why quality is more important than ever before in customer service. As an industry, we need to continue to improve the level of customer service.
We do.
So we can retain that buyer we have a saying, GDRV for life, Grand Design RV for life. We don't want a customer one time and then lose them to either cruises or a vacation home or a competitor. We want to satisfy that customer. We want them to be so overwhelmed with Grand Design. Not that we won't ever have problems.
Right.
But we want them to want to be Grand Design owners for life.
Yeah. Well, Walter says extended stay fifth wheel. Simply, does this imply I can't tow it around all the time? Absolutely not. I can answer that. But Mark Polk says it's nice to see quality RVs being built. Heidi says, why is the 380? Oh, watch out, Don. I don't know if she's here on the property. Heidi said, why is the 384 being discontinued, and when will the new floor plan be available?
Well,
talk about putting the CEO on the spot.
Heidi, it was a great question. I got to wait for my cue cards to come up, but I can answer that. I've been doing this 35 years. A lot of manufacturers have a habit of collecting things. They collect floor plans. They collect options. It's like living in a home for 25 years and never having a garage sale. You have all of these products, that kind of brands and products that step all over each other, and there's really no sense for any one. What happens in time, a brand or a floor plan either will become stale or average. And not that the 384 is average, it's incredible, but our general managers and product managers are tasked each and every year to find new, innovative, exciting things to excite the retail customer. And let's say the 384 had this feature, and this feature, and it rocked, but yet it had a couple of deficiencies in it. We're not shy about replacing the 384 in this case with a different floor plan that has these features, but also the deficiencies are great. And at that point in time, we'll shoot a floor plan in the head and get rid of it, so we can have a balanced portfolio of products that really make sense and appeal to the retail consumers. So Heidi, don't be mad because something better is around the corner.
And those new floor plans come out next month when we're back here.
Oftentimes, we get floor plans done before a model change because really everyone knows the Louisville show is no longer
gone.
And where dealers come to see the new floor plans and new creation is open house, and that's next month. Yeah.
Well, you talk about having fun, and for those of you who don't know the backstory, we've known Don, as I said, for many, many years. I had to be in Elkhart this week to do some strategic task force meetings at RVIA on technician training and recruiting and hiring, and talking about the new RVX experience that's going to replace Louisville for the trade in next March, and also talking about the RV Technical Institute. We had meetings on that today, and John and I talked about it. I said, I can't go to Elkhart and not do a show with somebody. I mean, it'd just be impossible. John say, yeah, Bob's in Elkhart, and say, well, if Bob knows all these people in Elkhart, how come he doesn't anybody on the show? I made one phone call, first phone call, and that was like a day and a half ago. And he juggled his schedule. He pushed the campfires out a little bit, and he said, I want to do it.
You know, it's number one, it's an honor. Number two, we are friends. And John, you're part of this as well, so don't feel left out because you're not in the garage. I got to figure out what a garage is. But we're friends, you know, and you're one of the people that have been with us and kind of alongside and watched and helped grow from day one. So it's an honor to be on the show, and it's an honor to be able to speak to all of your followers, and some obviously are Grand Design owners, and it's good. This is one of the benefits of being in an industry like we're in.
A fun industry,
yeah.
Selling fun products.
Yeah.
Two things before we wrap up. As we always do every week, please share the show with your friends who haven't seen it. We know everybody can't make Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. And from the time we air the show till the next week, I think Chris Doherty's show that we did last week, and Chris is the Trailer Life Motorhome Technical Editor. We had Chris on last week, and he's up to 6,000 views from last week. So if you would share that. And John and I do go through the comments afterwards, because lots of times we can't get all the comments on the show. We will answer your comments later on. So people are lining up on the street out there, and I know Don's got a commitment that he was kind enough to push off for us to do his campground. And one of those Indiana freight trains is going by, and that could be a 20-minute affair. So you better have a good cup of coffee with it. Don, I want to thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you,
It's
Bob.
always a pleasure to see you. Matt, thank you for jumping through all the hoops that we had to do with the technical stuff in the beginning. That's it for this week. Next week is Pat Hunt from Equalizer Hitch is on with us next week. So, and then on the 19th, we have Toby O'Rourke from the CEO of president of KOA Campgrounds. So thank you very much for joining us tonight, John. I'm sorry we couldn't make the technology work, and we will see you folks next week.